Howdy y'all, welcome back to the Hoosier Hillbilly, or welcome if it's your first time here. Hopefully the wind won't be too bad here. I don't know if it's going to cause us a problem or not. I don't know how well this microphone works in the wind. We're going to find out because it's pretty windy out here today. So, today's episode we're going to be constructing. We're finally going to be building this thing instead of just tearing it apart. We've got more to tear apart up there, but back here we're going to start getting this rebuilt. So at the end of the last episode I kind of half-assed explained what I was doing here. If I pull this board here out of the way, now used to there was only one 2x2 on the outside edge on both sides. Well, since I got to tie in some new pieces to the old pieces, we run a second one on the inside. So on both sides, so since I've done that, the outside one is going to the full length, what's going to be the back of the trailer, and then the inside ones are an inch and set in an inch and a half to accommodate for this back piece here that's going to go in there. Now, once I get all those, they're all just clamped together right now. I need to run some screws into everything, get all that stuff in place. Then this board here, where I cut that other off in there, I'll have to run some Loctite power grab on the end of it, and we're going to cram it in there, and we're going to try to cinch it up with a ratchet strap to really push it in there and get it bonded in there good. Not that it's really going to be that big of a deal. We're going to have screws holding it in place. It ain't going to go nowhere. And then we've got 6 of these left that are cut off where they're rotting back here, and we've got 6 boards there cut to the same length where they'll all go right next to these and up underneath that floor. That way I can secure them to each one of these 2x2s and a few screws in the floor there, and then we'll screw them to the back of this here, and then we'll be ready to put on a piece of plywood. So I'm going to go gather up a few supplies, some screws, screw gun, drill. One thing I like to do with this 2x2 stuff, before I run a screw in, I pre-drill it, because that stuff will split way too easy on you, it's too thin. So I'm going to gather that stuff up, and then we're going to get with it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is going to take this 2x2, approximately 2x2, a little wider than 2x2, but that's okay. I'm going to goop it up here with this power grab by Loctite. We'll even throw a little right on through here where it's going to, but where that floor is going to be on top of it. Put that clamp on the metal frame. It's not clamped to the board because I just want to keep it, the board from going left or right on me once I put this ratchet strap on there. That way we're just going to force some of that Loctite in there real good. It's got some good pressure on it. Well, we got that in there. We'll put a few screws right down through here, keep it in place. Where I'm going through the plywood floor, which is 5/8 inch thick, I'm using 1 5/8 inch screws, coated screws there, and I'm using 2.5 inch screws that I'm going to run between the two 1x1s to fasten them together. Alright, now that I've screwed all that up, and I'm sure I probably screwed something up. Now, before I put this back piece in, I'm going to go ahead and glue it in these corners. Kind of a, I don't know, it's a kind of an important spot. Now all we got to do is hook these next 6 onto these, get them all screwed in place, and then we're ready for a piece of plywood. Okay, so we made quick work of that. We're going to check everything real quick here just before I throw a piece of plywood on here, just to see how we're looking on from there to here, all the way across, see if we got a consistent reading, and we'll measure crossways both ways, see if we're in square. Not that that really matters, because we're going to put this piece of plywood on here and that'll help square it up. But before I put the plywood on, I am going to go ahead and, since we got the Loctite power grab, we're going to go ahead and run some of that down on these here before we put the plywood on there. Might as well hold it on there real good and tight. Well, battery went dead right when I was putting that on there, but I had glue sitting there, so I couldn't mess around. But I just did slide it on there and went and grabbed another battery. So. So there you have it. Got the floor all fixed back here. We still got floor to fix up there, but this back here is as solid as it can be. Old Hoosier Hillbilly could cut a rug on this right here. It ain't going nowhere. The only thing that did happen that I didn't anticipate, I set my depth on my saw where I thought I'd be just right going down to catch this 2x2 in case I got into it a little bit, which I did get into it a little bit, but that's okay. But the problem was I got into this frame right here, and I guess the only thing I can say about that is that's one damn good saw blade, because I cut plumb through that metal. That's at least 16th inch thick steel, and I cut it clean through, and it's still cut all the way down through here. It didn't hurt that saw blade a bit. Okay, so with all that done, next thing we got to do is have a cold, refreshing Busch Light. Boy, that's good, crisp, cold beer right there. But as soon as we get done with this, the next thing we got to do is we got the flanges that go out. We got one back here, one over about right into there, somewhere yonder, two over here, where we're gonna have to get up underneath there and drill a 3/8 hole where they're lined up with these 2x2s and run some new carriage bolts through there. I won't pick them up today, so we'll run the carriage bolts in and tighten that down. And the floor is going to be completely attached to the frame the way it needs to be, and then we'll be ready to start to put some walls up. Let me finish this cold beer and then we'll get right back to it. Alright, floor is officially secured to the frame. Okay, so the floor is all secure to the frame. Now we're going to get these two walls I've already got built up. This wind's not going to be my friend while I'm doing this, but luckily there's not a whole lot of wind resistance on them walls because they're just too steep. Looks like it's going to hold itself there all right. Okay, so you see the beginnings of the walls going up. Okay, before I cinch this down, get some screws in and all that, I'm going to bring you up here a little closer look, show you how I built this wall. Now, like I say, it's all built out of 2x2s, roughly 2x2. Some of them are a little wider than 2x2, you know, which is technically 1.5 inches. When I run them through the 2x4s and cut them down, some of them are a little wider. So as long as you run them the right direction for your width, that doesn't matter. But I did go with a 2x4 on this end right here, right where I'm going to be attaching it to this original board here. So I'll screw it through this way. That way we got us a nice solid structure right there. And then as you can see, we got it framed up for the window here. There's some markings as I was building stuff, so I knew what I was doing. And so that brings us all the way down to here. Brings us all the way back. And I just measured this and I smacked it in with a hammer just a hair. And we got us 1.5 inches exactly on the back of that for this back wall when it's going to come in here. Son of a bitch. I screwed up. I certainly screwed up. I measured this, built this like I was going to put it on the inside of those walls when that ain't right. It needs to be on the back side of this the way I got it here, but it's too short. Son of a bitch. Back to the drawing board. Much as I hate to admit it, I screwed up. Okay, you see me try to put that wall up here, and I don't know what I was thinking, but, well, I know what I was thinking. The wall that I was putting up here, the back wall, when I built it, I fully intended it to be from one end to the other, and then these walls intersect with it. Well, once I just put it up there, it's 3 inches too short. Well, there's a reason why it's 3 inches too short, because that's 1.5 inches and the other side's 1.5 inches. Somewhere in my thinking, I thought I needed to take 3 inches off because I thought these walls was going to be on the outside edge. I don't know why I come up with that, because the back wall that I've built and I'm putting up there has a 2x4 on each end sitting sideways. That way, the reason I done that is my intentions are that way this 1.5 inches here can screw into it, and then I have a nice inside corner where I can have something to attach paneling to on both walls. So how I done that, I don't know, but no harm, no foul. I've got I cut 2 more boards for the top plate and the bottom plate, 3 inches longer. Took all that apart, put all those boards in there, and now it should be right. We ain't out nothing. The 2 boards that I had for the top and bottom plate before, I can use on this wall over here. So, like I say, I know what I was doing. I just don't know what I was thinking. So, I got that wall rebuilt. Let me go grab it. We're going to throw it up here. See if it fits this time. Woo-wee, that's going to do it for me on this one now. We got quite a bit done on this episode. Got them 2 walls up, and floors all fixed up and everything. So next episode we're going to get to working on that other wall and start getting some trusses up on there. So until next time, guys, this is the Hoosier Hillbilly. I appreciate y'all. Feel free to click the like button and hit that subscribe button if you ain't subscribed to me. So you can see how the rest of this pans out. So y'all have a good day.